Yeah, no, I love the lamp. I want one, honestly. Does the color of the light bulb change?
Yeah,
Really?
it's a smart bulb.
I sleep with a lot of lights, so I feel like I would sleep with that on like all night.
Yeah,
Which, yeah, but that's just how I am. I try all the different colors and see which one I like the best.
yeah, it is pretty sweet. I have the opening used to be like the lamp like changing colors and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like that, but
yeah,
I've
that
since
would
changed.
be the way to go. I like the design on the inside of it too.
And welcome to Next to the Lamp. What's up, Malapert Squad? Yeah, since I changed my name, it's kind of hard. The Malapert Many, I guess. I don't know. Used to be the Squid Squad, and yeah, I'm changing y'all's name. So all my followers, all my fans, you know what it is. Malapert Merc on Spotify, Instagram, everywhere you can find music. So that's what I'm changing it to. So if you guys, well, that's what I had changed it to actually. I've been Malapert Merc for about a month and a half now, 2 months, something like that. Anyways, got the I'm Killing It EP coming out soon. Soon. I planned originally for August 12th, but I might have to push it back because of some legal issues that I'm going through. So we'll get back to you on that note. But on today's episode, I'm going to introduce, well, actually, I'm going to have him introduce himself because I don't know how to say his last name mostly. So here is Myles.
Yeah, right on. I'm Myles Stefanich. Yeah, I mean everybody messes it up, so no worries at all. I'm just entranced by the light. But yeah, stoked to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Yeah. You are a local musician. I went and saw you. Was that Saturday night?
Yes. So
Okay. So yeah, I went and saw you Saturday night, and I really liked your sound and everything like that, and so did everybody else that was in the bar. So I just thought, since you're a musician, and with Killing It Productions always interviews musicians, especially local talent, thought I'd ask you to come on.
yeah, well, I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here. And yeah, the duck's always a good time. I love the duck. Can't get over it.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely one of those venues that like is a hidden gem.
Right. Yeah. You like never know what you're gonna get. You might walk into like a punk rock show and put earplugs in and like see what's going on, or you might walk into like the most deep roots country Americana stuff, and have the same amount of fun. It's a great place.
Yeah, dude, I've been in there one time and it was just like shoulder to shoulder packed,
Yeah.
and it was rough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You never know.
yeah. Also, here's another announcement. We did lose the YouTube channel for a little bit, so I lost all my subscribers, all of my views. I lost everything, so I'm starting over from scratch. So this will be the second episode on the new Next to the Lamp. So for those of you that are listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and everywhere you get, just go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to that for me. That would be much appreciated. I love you guys, and I do all these interviews for myself, but you guys are along for the ride. So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in a tiny town, northeast corner of the state, Beulah, Wyoming. 33 people. So that was interesting.
33 people.
33 people. Total.
Damn.
And I think now, I mean, it's so much bigger now. I might be up to like 70. I don't know. So
down here doubled.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
actually did double.
Yeah.
And then some.
Yeah. So it's kind of a big city now, but yeah, I just grew up there, and we were like obviously outside of town. There wasn't like a city or a town for like hundreds of miles. So I just got as in tune as I could get with the natural world.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did a lot of camping and
Yeah.
outdoor shit.
Yeah, as much as I could. I climbed for a lot of years and still try to.
Okay, word.
And yeah, so I don't know, just kind of it's a bad thing and a good thing to grow up in a tiny place like that, I suppose.
I understand. I'm from a town of 400, right? So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a little bit bigger than your town.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
quadruple, but
Yeah.
it's still like one of those things that's like the opportunities that you get in like even just a slightly bigger town like Laramie, like they had baseball teams here and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like they had like all these things.
You guys have sports?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you graduate from there or like
I graduated from Sundance, Wyoming, so
oh, okay.
like 30 minutes outside of where I lived. And yeah, so my entire school, it was 7th grade through 12th grade, in the same building, and total was 200 people.
Okay.
So my graduating class was like 29 people, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
So I knew everybody and
Yeah.
everyone knew me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I graduated with 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I have you beat there.
Yeah.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah. We had like 170 kids from kindergarten through 12th grade, and they were all in the same
Jeez.
school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had
So
one wing that was elementary and one wing that was like high school and middle school.
yeah, that was the weird thing about being like a senior. All of a sudden, when my senior year hit, I was like, there's a bunch of 7th graders. And I mean, you can really tell the difference in Sundance, Wyoming between a 7th grader and a senior.
Yeah.
So yeah, I imagine it's pretty similar.
Very similar. Yeah. Um, I just didn't like the fact that like being from a small town and like my musical career, like aspirations and dreams,
Yeah.
like nobody believes in that.
No, it doesn't match what you give to it.
Yeah.
A lot of times, what you get out of a small town doesn't match necessarily like how you feel about it.
Yeah.
And I've felt that. Thank God for my dad. Actually, my mom and my dad, but my dad got me into music and kind of just you know took it and ran with it, I suppose, and just believe in yourself, I guess.
Just don't stop.
Yeah, that's the right answer. Just don't stop. You know?
Yeah. I get that. I mean, I showed you what my music was like before we
Yeah,
came on, and
yeah.
like that doesn't even fit Laramie.
No,
Like,
it's hard to fit a mold, especially if you're just a little ways out of a genre. There's
yeah.
like country music here, and then there's like heavy metal.
Yeah.
So like anything outside of that is like either hard to get people to like accept and enjoy, or hard to like convince them that like they could potentially love it, the same way you do.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard.
Yeah. I know. And for some reason, like that's one thing that's really driving me is like I want to do what they say couldn't be done.
Exactly.
Right. Like
Yeah.
I want to do the impossible.
Yeah.
And it's like getting that type of music.
Oh yeah. It's addictive. It's very addictive to prove people wrong. And like, yeah, there's a lot of like letdowns and stuff, as I'm sure you know.
Oh,
That
yeah.
it's just like, why am I doing this? And then you step away for a second, you're like, oh shit, I'm doing it because I love it. And I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
Like proving people wrong is sort of like the greatest feeling ever. You have people that are like saying that you make like coworker music, or like that you do music that's like forgettable and stuff. And like when you like put everything you have into it, I think that like this is what I love, and no one's gonna stop me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's pretty much where I'm at. It's like I'm just making music for me,
Yeah.
and in a world of 8 billion people, like
Right.
I'm sure there's others out there that will like it too.
Yeah.
It's just getting those people to hear it.
You're right.
That's the tough part.
That is the hard part. Don't know.
Like my hometown, like your music would be perfect there.
Yeah.
They won't even like, even though I'm from there, they still won't book me on shows there.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Weird.
you guys just don't, you're just a bunch of haters.
Yeah. Well, there's something so cool about like playing a build that's like all different genres.
Yeah.
I like in the earliest days, the earliest days, I've been doing this for like a year and a half. So I guess these are the early days, but like in the first couple shows I ever played was like I'd play this like super depressing, sad folk set, and then be like, anyways, here's Death Crushers coming up next, and like then like the most like heavy metal punk rock band would come on, and I was like, this is kind of awesome because like the best of both worlds. You get really sad, and then you're like, all right, it's time to put in some earplugs and get this shit rolling. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like part of me wants to like I can make any type of music that like I want,
Yeah.
right? Like it's not the genres that make me happy though, but it's like how I feel that I can express it
Right.
that will
Yeah.
make me happy.
How do you resonate with it? Yeah. I think that's a big part of it. That's a big part of what I do. It's like I don't even care if I write a song that I don't think people are gonna like, but like I enjoy it and I love it. It's going to like bring people in, you know? People want to care about what other people care about, you know?
Right.
So I think that's one of the most important things, you know?
Yeah, I definitely like I said, I'm just making music for me now, and I've been able to express a lot of my anguishes lately
Yeah.
just through my music in order to just get out a lot of it. And I hope I can get to a place one day that it's not all just like hate and discontent,
Yeah.
because that's what I feel like a lot of it is right now.
Well, and I think that like, you know, for some people it doesn't go away. And for some people that's what they resonate with. And then I think other people like choose to go a different direction or like when they feel like their lives have settled down enough to change and to write differently, then I think that all of a sudden the music changes and, you know, for better or worse, it's just what people like and enjoy, you know. And so yeah, I don't know. I think I will do that at a certain point, but who knows?
Yeah. And things can change, and like it's crazy what can happen in like 6 months even
Oh
to
yeah.
like change a person.
Yeah.
So I hope you can get to a place where like I want to be able to express all the emotions that I have
Yeah.
and not just anger.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that. I start a song and I'm like, this one's gonna be happy. And I can't wait to write a song that people are gonna feel like, you know, they can enjoy and like listen to publicly. And then I finish it and I play it back and I'm like, oh my God, this is so sad. And I didn't even know I was doing it,
Yeah.
you know? And so I don't know. I just think whatever falls out, you know, for lack of better terminology.
Yeah. I get it. I'm really to the point of where like I know what kind of emotion I want
Yeah.
before I sit down and start playing it,
Yeah.
Like I want do you have a key that you work in like the most?
Not really. Honestly, I try to like change it up as much as I can. So I don't, honestly, I think that maybe I don't know anything about music.
Okay.
And I know that that sounds weird and maybe like a little bit pretentious and whatnot. But like, I just don't think that I play traditionally, you know, I'll just like find a couple chords that maybe I enjoy, you know, enjoy the way they sound. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to write something that feels like it fits the mood. And so I just kind of like craft something in that way.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to be able to like pin it down
Mm.
and who knows.
And so I have that.
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier actually.
Yeah.
I like that. Wish I played piano or
They have
keys.
guitar ones and stuff like that.
That would be nice actually.
Yeah, you can find them on Amazon. I think that was like $25, and then the frame.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a bunch of them like that. And I mostly use the circle of fifths on it now to be like, okay, well, I want to be in an E minor. What goes with E minor?
Oh yeah, I see that now. Yeah, I was like kind of like trying to
Yeah.
pin it down, but
Do you know what
yeah.
key your voice is in? Like your natural voice?
I don't really.
Mine's an E
I
flat.
How do you figure that out? How do you How do you
I
do it?
recorded it and
And
then.
it tells you.
Hmm.
Most of my recordings are like, well, I shouldn't say most. Some of them, there's like, I usually have like 8 demos before I take it into any sort of a studio or a home studio, I guess. And like, but I've never been able to find that. So I
Hmm.
don't know,
Okay.
but I would be interested to know like where I like gravitate towards
Yeah.
key wise.
Yeah. Um, if we have any musicians, I'm sure like a lot of musicians will be able to tell just by ear.
Yeah, that would be
Um,
cool. Yeah,
yeah.
tell me. I I I don't know, but I would like to know. Yeah.
Just leave a comment, guys. You know the
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
You know the deal.
Help me out.
Um, I had 177 episodes, bro, that I have to upload again.
177.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was scrolling through them. There's a lot there.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time to upload
Yeah. At
too.
least 3 hours per
Yeah.
video upload.
Yeah.
Audio, not so like not that doesn't take any time at all.
Right.
Video,
That's what's hard.
yeah.
Yikes.
So
Yeah, I don't know if I'd have the patience for that.
dude, and I have to do all the descriptions again and like some of
Uh,
these things I don't even remember because they were
yeah.
4 years ago.
Yeah, that's yeah.
It's 5 years ago actually. 2019 is when
Jeez.
we started this. Or
Wow.
when I started this.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'd have the patience.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna do it very slowly. I'm gonna do like all of my recent ones,
Yeah.
first, and then I'm just gonna start back cataloging them and back cataloging them like one a day until something happens. Maybe I'll get more pop offs that way, because I only had a couple hundred subs. So
True. Well, maybe the algorithm will be nice to you.
yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
always try to like today's my day and it's not. And it won't be. But I think
Not with
that's
that attitude.
do you think that's a problem with like okay, look at like how things blow up these days.
Mm.
Like how videos and like people get famous these days.
I
Like
talked to a girl.
exactly. I was actually just talking about that earlier today with like a coworker. I was like, I don't understand that, I and like no disrespect. I mean, everybody's trying to do it, but it's just anything goes. Right place,
Seriously.
right time, I guess. I don't know. But so I keep thinking it every day. I'm like posting a video that gets like 6 or 7 likes, and I'm like, this is the one. And that's just not true. But I have to believe that,
Yeah.
I can't not believe it.
Yeah, you have to manifest it.
Yeah.
People are gonna say I'm part of the Illuminati if I do this, but you gotta open your
Oh
third eye,
no.
bro.
Yeah.
Open your third eye and
Yeah.
fucking manifest it.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand because like
Yeah.
I started a TikTok channel recently, and like I was super against it, but like a lot of artists are blowing up on there,
Yeah.
and the first reel that I sent or whatever
Yeah,
TikTok
yeah,
that is on there, right?
Exactly. I don't know.
It, it got 750 views
Yeah.
and like 125 likes, and I'm like, my Instagram, I shared the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like 50 views
That's
and like 3 likes.
yeah.
I'm like,
That's what happens.
yeah,
I was also pretty considerably against TikTok. Just, I mean, kind of against social media in general. But
for real.
then you realize that like the times are changing, and you see these things. Like I grew up on like classic rock and like Jackson Brown and Tom Petty and the Beatles and the band and like all these people, and then I realized that like the internet is a gift and a curse. Like it's so much harder to be found out. You can't just go like pitch your CDs on a street corner or like pitch your records and vinyls and stuff on a street corner. But at the same time, like that's all like you have to do that. You have to go out and do that. So the internet kind of gets rid of that, but I don't know. It's a gift and a curse. And I have just tried to like go with the flow and realize that like that's the way the world's going. So
Yeah,
I have to get used to TikTok.
I know, dude. I was really hoping they'd get canceled,
I know. I thought it might happen.
and then like it just doesn't happen, and
Yeah.
I'm like, ah,
Yeah. Twitter. I have refused to get Twitter my entire life.
X?
Actually. X now.
Yeah.
See, see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they're calling these things anymore.
Yeah. After Musk bought
X.
it, he could turn it into X.
That's right. And I knew that. Maybe that's another thing I refuse to do. Like, you know what? Actually,
you dead name things.
it's still Twitter. It's still Twitter.
That's how you get canceled there, buddy.
Yeah. No, I don't want that. I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
But-
controversial. I mean, it blows up.
Who knows?
The
Yeah.
haters spread the love quicker than the love
That's
does,
true.
dude. It's
And I
crazy.
always thought, like, I'd post a TikTok and there's like 7 comments. And I'm like, I don't even know these people. They're not like my family or my friends. And they're commenting all nice things. And all of my friends were like, that's really great. But if you like get to the next level, you're going to get the mean ones. And I was like, I'm fragile. I really don't want the mean ones, you know? And then like, I know it would happen, but I've always wondered how like people take this like deeply personal thing, this like
Yeah.
musicianship or like craftsmanship of a song or a band, and then all of a sudden you're like, it's just people are just shitting on it. What do you do?
Yeah. I mean, at a certain
Can't
point,
take it.
at a certain point, I just don't. I mean, like the beginning of my 2024 has been like that just kicked off the shit slide that is
Yeah.
my life now.
Yeah.
And like April 7th, I took 1,000 milligrams of sleeping pills
Wow.
to just like not be here anymore,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
And somehow I woke up the next day just like hungover as shit and just like fucking puking everywhere.
Yeah.
And from that point, I was just like, it can't really get much worse than this. So
Yeah.
like, might as well just throw it all into music and
I mean,
let them hate.
that's the thing about like rock bottom is you can't go anywhere but up, you know? So like,
Yeah.
as dismal as it sounds, it's like you can't, you're not going in the wrong direction anymore. I feel like
Yeah.
I've
Have you
That's-
hit your rock bottom yet?
I like to think, or I would like to think that I have. I feel I've like struggled with depression since I was like 13, and I have insomnia really bad, so I never sleep.
Word.
And and now I'm finally like working on it and trying to be better. But
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, youngster.
Yeah.
But I had a couple like really dark years, and actually some of my like earlier music I can like relate in some way to like the writing pain. And actually I was the first EP I did was called the Mondays EP, and it's got 5 songs on it, and they were all kind of angry in some way, and I was just frustrated, like not with anyone or even really myself, just sort of frustrated in general, and ended up just writing 5 songs that all kind of were like painful. And each time I played them, I was like, this hurts. But you kind of like it. It's messed up. It's sadistic, but it is what it is. And so I did that. And then I like started like relating and like sort of relating them to like the stages of grief. And each individual song you can kind of break down as like a separate stage of grief. And I wasn't ever like public about it, but I definitely think about that a lot. And so like I like to think it's evolved from there, but who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. My flawed motif EP, the first 2 tracks are diss tracks. And then the third track is like it's a really sad song. About like how all my friends left me during this whole chaotic time. And then the 4th track is called My Broken Heart. And then the 5th track was a love song to a girl. And then the 6th track was the title track to the whole EP called My Grievances.
Right on.
And it was like kind of like that too. It was like expressing like I'm not sure what I'm doing anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, but since then, like, and it was kind of hard because like I'm doing the Malapert Merc, I'm killing it, and like that's all like upbeat and like
Yeah. Yeah.
like super hype.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like balancing those emotions to be like, okay, well today I'm gonna work on the my grievances EP, and it's just gonna be like this, and then I'm gonna work the next day. I'll work on I'm killing it EP, and
Yeah.
so like I don't know. I've just been just like this whole cluster of different emotions, just kind of like molding this person of who I am becoming.
Yeah. Well, I like the contrast of them too. Like my grievances and I'm killing it is like very opposite ends of the spectrum. And I imagine that's
Yeah.
like super fun and challenging to like kind of rewarding to see how like each one pans out differently and
Yeah.
stuff. And like going along with it. Yeah. No, I think that's really cool. And that's another like thing that's like that can or could set you apart from the rest of the music scene, which is like essentially what I'm trying to do is, you know. Do you ever get the question of uh like what makes you different? Do you
Yeah.
get that a lot?
Yeah.
I don't like that question so much.
So what makes you different?
Yeah, exactly. Well, no. I mean, and I shouldn't say I don't like it. It's like a weird one to like answer, you know? Because I
Yeah.
like the question and I like would be lying if I said that I don't think about that like often. And like what is it? And I just, I think that as an artist, you see like most of the time, like the bands that you look up to are established.
Mhm.
And so I've had this weird tunnel vision, I think for like a lot of years of like, since I found this band recently and they're like already established that it happened quickly for them. And I have the patience of a 6-year old. And so I have to like convince myself that like these things take time and you have to like build something. And so I don't know. I feel like I'm just trying to like be patient. And I think that, in some ways, like wanting it more as much as I possibly can and like understanding that nothing else feels right is why I could, take it to the next level,
Yeah.
hopefully. And we'll see. Time will tell. But I just think like, yeah, it's the patience and like trying not to get frustrated with the way the music industry works
Hmm.
because it's messed up.
Being
A lot of it.
independent is like it's easier to do nowadays because like you can just sign up for a distributor.
Yeah.
You can learn how to market your
Yeah.
shit. Like it's you can sign up for um, performing rights agencies and things
Right.
like that. Like
Yeah.
you can do all of that, but the thing that labels have that you don't necessarily have is the money for ads.
Yeah. Yeah. A platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's kind of what like I know how to market music, I know how to publish music, I know how to do all that stuff, right?
Sure.
Like I know how to like the Killing It Productions is also a record label.
Yeah.
And so it's just I don't have the time or the money for ad spends.
Yeah. I get that.
So
Yeah.
like it's just it's like one of those things because I'm still, paying off startup costs.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
doing that with my 8 to 5 job
Yeah.
and not so much my music.
Yeah. That's the hard thing. Balancing that. I once saw like a I don't know if it was an interview or some video with the band called His Golden Messenger, and they were kind of talking about that side of things too. Like, somebody asked them, they were like, "Do you think you can have a job and also do music?" And like his response was just like, "I don't know. Like, maybe. I'd like, who knows? Like, you can do whatever." And so, like, yeah, I'm trying to like work a job and also like play as much as possible. And like, my theory for a long time was like, just never say no to a show because you never know who's going to be there and who might enjoy it or who might feel it in the way that like you want people to feel it. And that works and it doesn't, So the important thing, I think, the takeaway of like playing as much as you can and like trying not to say no to as many gigs as you can, is like you just never know like who's gonna like really resonate with it. And like to me, the most meaningful experiences I've had as a small little like local band here is like when people like actually do feel it like similarly to how I do, and like
Mhm.
I try to write music that I think, people can feel like with their heart and, and not just that like this like surface level. And people can feel that in any genre. And that's the coolest thing about music is like, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just like you can feel passion. And if you're a person who enjoys and listens to music, you know what it looks like.
Yeah.
And so I try to like use that as much as I can.
Do you have like a go-to sad song that's like I'm just down and depressed. I just need to listen to this song.
Yeah. I think it changes often and as I find them. But for a lot of years, it was The Night We Met by Lord Huron, um, if you know that one. And then,
I do actually. I just came across that like a week ago.
yeah,
Actually,
that song is like soul crushing. And it was for a lot of years. And then recently, uh, I always think, even though it's not like a sad song, Strawberries by Camp is
mm,
like, it's just such a like a beautiful song that you can't help but feel like sort of like you sink into it. And
hmm
and so for me it's like misery loves company, if I see that like there's somebody else out there that feels similarly to how I do at my like worst of times, then I don't feel alone when I feel those things. And so yeah, I think The Night We Met is like just ultra classic, you know, top 5 sad songs ever.
it's up there for sure. I have two sad songs that I go to.
Yeah.
Um, One is "I'm Sorry" by Joyner Lucas,
Ooh,
and then the other one is "Hold On" by Tom McDonald. Those two songs, like when I'm super depressed,
yeah.
like those are the ones I go to. And like anytime I go to watch them on YouTube, like YouTube just knows, like, all right, well, he wants this one after that. He wants
Yeah.
this one after that.
It's like the
Like,
autoplay is
yeah,
like helping out.
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
So, but like usually I have like 5 or 6 songs that I listen to, and by like the fifth one, they start becoming like uplifting and like
Yeah.
all that stuff. So
It's like,
like,
all right, it's time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's been quite interesting, to say the least. And I have a stand-up joke that's like, my life is bad in 16-year increments. Like my 32nd year was when um my relationship of 17 years ended, and then like all my friends left, and um like all this bad shit was happening. When I was 16, I got arrested like 3 times, got sent to boys' homes, and like got broken up with then as well, and like just a bunch of crazy stuff. And then 16 years before that, I was born.
Yeah. 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 That's that's a very interesting way of thinking about
So yeah, we'll see what 48 has to bring
that.
for
Yeah.
me.
Well, hopefully better. Yeah. It's what is it, 16, 32, 48? So, or I guess if you're starting at zero, it's not. I was
Yeah.
gonna say third time's the charm, but my math has never been my strong suit. So fourth time is the charm.
Fourth time's the charm. Yeah, we'll see
Yeah.
how it goes. So yeah, it's been a pretty rough 2024. So um I am on the ups though, so
Good. Good.
not really a bad thing, because I was on like antidepressants and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and like they were messing with me heavy.
Yeah. They do weird things.
Yeah,
Weird things.
and like a lot of people that haven't taken them don't really know
Yeah.
like what like that side.
Yeah.
They're
That's
like, "Oh, you're on antidepressants, you're better,"
yeah.
and it's like, no,
Fix. Problem solved. Yeah.
yeah, it's like no, you have to find the right dosages. You have to like do all these things, and
Yeah.
yeah, so like from like February till like a month and a half ago, like I was trying to figure all these things out, and like eventually I just quit taking them. I was like,
Yeah.
they're not helping. They're making things worse,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
So once I quit taking them, like that's when I became like super focused on music.
Yeah.
Like I can like if I know what I'm gonna write about and I know the emotion that I want to convey, I can produce and write a song in a day
Yeah.
and record it.
Yeah. And like sometimes that's how it goes. I think everyone always speaks to a process, and that's great. Everyone has their own process for creating and writing. And it's just up to the individual. I think, I don't think you can be ever faulted for how you craft and how you produce and stuff. And I've had
Yeah.
songs fall together in like 20 minutes that I'm like, oh my God, I actually like this. And then you listen to a video and somebody's like, well, it took me 6 months to write this song. And it's like, should it be taking me longer to write these songs? Like it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've had like similar experiences with like medication and stuff. And like the hard part is like, it sounds cliche, but like going out and doing it, like going out and like trying to get help is like so annoying.
Hmm.
It's just like, it's not even like, oh, it's hard because I'm going to have to talk about all these problems. It's like, for
Hmm.
me, it was like, I just like don't really want to move, like
Hmm.
I'm like watching a TV show and I don't want to like get up and go to a therapist,
Yeah.
which is so lame and like not maybe the right way to go about it. But I couldn't, it's hard for me to like leave my house for a while. So I just wrote music.
Yeah.
It's like sank in.
Yeah. I've had multiple days this year where I just like, even though I was supposed to go to therapy, I just didn't leave my bed.
Yeah. It's like I can't do it.
Yeah. 'Cause I lost my job in December. Then I got another job. I lost that job. Got another job. Contracted out that job for like 3 months. So eventually it came to an end and I got another job.
Yeah.
Like it's just been a roller coaster of crap.
Yeah.
And then like my podcast getting deleted on YouTube and like
Yeah. That's
all my
unnecessary. Why does
yeah.
that happen?
Yeah, like they couldn't even tell me why it happened either.
No.
No.
Just like,
Yeah,
our
because like it's not
problem.
like I'm posting offensive content by any
No,
means. Like
no.
it's like I don't understand. They didn't understand, but they were
Yeah.
like, yeah, like, you're gonna have to start over. It's like I just got sponsorships and everything. Like
Are those gone, or can you just like, is it just like my channel's gone, it's coming back?
they really want to see the views and everything. Like
Yeah.
you have to send your stats to get
Wow.
that. And so like now that I don't have any stats,
Yeah.
don't have any sponsors.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just unnecessary,
Yeah.
uncalled for. Absolutely.
Everything
uncalled
happens
for.
for a reason, man. Like everything happens for a
Yeah.
reason. Like, okay. And it's
Yeah.
like, bro, how many reasons do I need?
Yeah, exactly. Whatever that means, man. Yeah.
So it's just been a whirlwind of nastiness. But what can I do besides continue to move forward,
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is your process when you actually go to write music? Do you like do lyrics first? Do you music first? Like how do you go about that?
Um, it kind of depends. I think usually I try to start with like a chord progression that I feel, most often how it comes together is a chord progression that I like or that speaks to me. And then like often I'll just like wait and sit with that chord progression. It's not often that I like actually start writing after I've found the chords and stuff. So usually I'll sit on a couple chords for like a few days and play them over and over for like hours at a time. And then I'll wait till there's a moment in my life that feels like I need to write something. Right? Yeah, there's something speaking to me and I need to like let it out. So most often, yeah, it's chords uh and then the lyrics kind of just like come together after that.
Yeah, so you try to get the emotion and the music first and
Yeah.
then the lyrics after.
Yeah, because I trust what I need to say. Not necessarily that it's going to be a good song or anything, but I'm like, okay, I need to say this. So what's the feel? So I mean, I guess it's a give and take too.
Mm,
Just depends on what the song is and kind of how it falls out. Yeah,
okay. I usually am like, all right, I'm pissed off.
yeah,
We're,
that's how it goes.
we're gonna go in a C minor.
Yeah, yeah,
Or an F minor. I've been doing a lot of F minors lately.
that's a great key. Yeah, a great chord.
Yeah. E flat is tough to produce in.
E flat seems scary,
Yeah.
scary chords.
C minor goes with it, but like
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So while you're making your music and do you ever have the thought of like, oh, this one's it?
yeah, yeah. Tom Petty is quoted for saying uh, that he tries to each song that he writes is better than the last song. So I don't really I kind of do that maybe like to a fault. And sometimes, I'll write a song and be like, that's the best song I've ever written. And then I'll play it and play it. And then I'll write another song and I'm like, this is the best song I've ever written. So but there are times where it feels like I'm onto something. And, then you don't know. But that kind of weirdly happened with the first song I ever released. I wrote it in like 40 minutes. I had a bunch of roommates and they were all gone and I was just kind of alone at the house and the moment hit me right and I felt like writing and I just kind of sat down and wrote a song called Forgotten Time Zone and I was just kind of like it's good, I like it and I'm happy with it. And then, sort of more or less as a joke, I recorded it in a vacant basement bedroom with a couple of my roommates and friends and my old band members. And then it just like kind of took off, really like some of my biggest like musical inspirations got a hold of it and enjoyed it. And that was really cool. And so like sometimes you just don't know. And after that happened, I was like, I don't know what people are gonna resonate with and what people are gonna enjoy. But
Yeah.
I like to believe I have a sixth sense about that, but I don't think I do.
Yeah. That's how I feel though. Is
Yeah.
like, I mean, practice, right? You gotta get your 10,000 hours in,
Yeah.
right? And like once you do that, you know, any practice after that, I mean, any practice in general gets you better, right?
Right. Yeah.
So like potentially every song you do right.
Should be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It should be. And then sometimes I'll write a song and I'm like, that's terrible. I'll write a song and then I'll like it for like 2 days. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to play that ever again.
Yeah.
That's just not a good song. I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was drinking or whatever. And then it's like, yeah, that's probably a throwaway song. But
Dude, Prince had like 20 albums
yeah,
just in his vault of
yeah,
just shit that he did.
that's just, yeah. I'm, some people just do that. And some people just release whenever they want. And I think that's great too. I'm trying not to do that, like actively,
Yeah.
just like put a bunch of stuff out over and over.
Hmm.
In a lot of ways, I feel like maybe I jumped the gun and I could have waited. But then there was that weird feeling of like, I don't have the patience and I have all these songs that I like and we should have music out there, if we're going to play shows and like get to like the point where people can maybe sing along to our songs. It's like we do need to have music out there, but what is there a right time? I I don't know.
I mean, if you're talking like on the calendar, like they say that like Monday, Tuesday are the best times for releases.
Really.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Monday, Tuesday is when um it's because like it's more so ever important now to be a content creator
Yeah.
as a musician
Right.
than any point in history, right? Like before, you could just make music and like, but now in order to get your music heard, you have to be active on social media. You have to, create content and stuff like that. So a lot of this is factoring in your content creation schedule too. So Monday, Tuesday, that's when the big artists don't release music,
True.
right? They usually release Friday, Saturday, Thursday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday
Yeah.
is usually when
Yep.
they release. So Wednesday, you're supposed to like engage in the releases that you release Monday, Tuesday. Thursday is supposed to be your throwback Thursday to promote a song you've already released. Friday is hopefully by time Friday comes around, your audience has already heard it and will play it over the weekend.
Yeah.
Saturday is when big artists release their stuff. Friday, Saturday. Sunday, chill day, you know, engage with people, do content, you know, comments or whatever you have to do for
Right.
that week. And then Monday, Tuesday is all over again.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I think that I'm so bad at social media,
Yeah,
you know,
I am
and
for
I
sure.
see all these things every day. It's like completely toxic Instagram like things of all these people who are like creators, and like they're like top 10 things not to do as a starting artist and stuff. And like, you know, a lot of that's fine and stuff, but I think it stresses a lot of people out. I think there's a lot of artists that just kind of want to do like make their art. And I don't think there's like a wrong answer to that. I think too much of the music today is about some like perfect production and perfect like sound quality and audio quality. And then I think there's this other like kind of maybe a niche group of people that like kind of like the old school sound. And that's kind of what I did with my last album. I did a solo album called Lighthouse and it was recorded with Sean Hess,
Mm.
local Laramie legend. And that was just kind of like completely solo on an old Fostex 34 tape recorder and just me and a guitar and an empty room. And, I think there are people that like resonate with that more than like the top notch production. And, when people get too famous, they just, I don't know if they like keep writing the same way.
For sure.
Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why people say like, oh man, your first two albums were the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because after you get money and you change, like you're not
It doesn't
writing.
matter.
Yeah, you're not writing the same stuff anymore. And like that's the worst part is like Jamie Foxx. He said this in an interview. He's like, if one of my cabinets breaks, I don't fix it immediately. Like I just let it be broken so I can remember where it came from.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, right on.
yeah, it's like, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
I've released as Squid's killing it. I released an EP, a mixtape, and I'm getting ready to release another EP as Malapert Merc. So this will be my first EP as Malapert Merc.
Yeah.
Under Flawed Motif, I've only released one EP, and soon to be the Malapert Motif mixtape.
Right.
And a lot of people resonate with like those hardships and like that,
Yeah.
like NWA's first album, right? It was
Yeah.
all about, fighting oppression and like being in the hood and like all this stuff. And it's like, then they got famous and it was like more so about like money and gangs and, things like that. But it's hard. It's hard to, people are supposed to change.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you have to evolve as an artist. There's nothing wrong with evolving and writing differently or coming from a different place,
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're complacent or you're writing the same song over and over. And so like change, don't get me wrong, change is completely necessary, and evolving as an artist is a very necessary thing, I think. That's yeah, I don't want to like contradict myself in any way, but there's a line between like staying, who you are and creating the music that you started creating,
Mhm.
and also evolving to the point where your songwriting or your craftsmanship or your production is building on
Mhm.
itself and stuff. So I don't know. It's such a tricky balance, you know?
Oh, yes. I get it. I'm still finding my voice
Yeah.
as like a
Same.
hip hop artist and as a as an EDM artist.
Yeah.
Like it's because I know I have a different sound.
Yeah.
And it's like, how hard do I want to lean into that though?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm fighting the same battles. I feel ya. Yeah. I wish I knew. I don't know if anyone knows. Maybe there's a lot of people that are still finding their sound.
Probably.
There definitely are. I
Yeah.
mean, there definitely are, but you know, I think I'll be finding it my entire life, and who knows?
Yeah. When I did my first mixtape of Squid's Killing It, it was called Finding My Voice. And for that I did pop songs. I
Okay.
did one hip hop song. Because I started out doing lo-fi EDM or lo-fi hip hop.
I love lo-fi.
Yeah. So like all of my first songs were lo-fi, and I had some fans. A lot of fans from like my hometown.
Right.
Like they like that, but it's hard to do a show as lo-fi hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like that's why I started transitioning into like more of the EDM side of it. One, I've always loved it.
Yeah.
Two, I've always loved bass. Like I love feeling it in my chest.
The best feeling ever.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So like I've always loved that. And mixing EDM with hip hop are like my two favorite genres. So like trap music, like you know,
The sweet spot.
yeah.
Sure.
So that's that's what a lot of that mixtape was like starting out, you know, like pop and stuff like that, and then it slowly got into more like EDM heavy. Um, but after that, like I was complacent for a long time, and at some point the universe is making my life like this right now
Yeah.
because in some fashion I asked for it
Yeah.
because
That's a cool way of thinking about it. Yeah.
because had I been where I was in like November, December, I would not be putting out this much music. I would not be working this hard to like get this stuff out. Like I did my first music video 2 weeks ago. Like I released my first music video 2 weeks ago. I never would have done that had I
Yeah.
been where I was.
Right.
So I've always wanted to pursue music. I've always wanted to travel the country and the world on my company's dime.
Yeah.
So
That's the dream. That's the
yeah.
dream.
So that's how I started looking at it. It was like I asked for this, so let's grind it out.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah. The silver lining.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So do you think have you ever been in a situation like that? Like somehow, some way, like I asked for this?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it feels like that a lot. Yeah, it just sort of comes down to like,
Perspective.
yeah, perspective. And it's like, yeah, like every time it's almost like it's another like give and take. It's like sometimes it sucks. And sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this? I could just continue with my school and go do something else. But I also know that I can't do that. So I know that whatever's like coming to me in music is just going to happen, and I'm going to have to be sort of prepared for whatever, and just like I know I can't quit. There's been so many times where I've been like, I'm done, and it's not me, and it's not, there's other better people that can make music, and it just never works. Every time I say I'm done, and I don't do it. I don't think I've done it in like a year, but it's just one of those things. It's like, yeah, it's coming for me,
Yeah.
and whatever's gonna happen is just gonna happen. And so, yeah,
I am trying to ride the wave.
yeah, ride the wave. That's the way.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. Ride the wave. Roll with the punches. Yeah. Don't take anything too seriously. Don't get caught up in a email scam that says they're a record label interested in your music. Spoiler alert, they're not.
Yeah. Don't even trust a guy here in his basement recording a podcast saying he's a record label.
Exactly. Well, you start to learn though. See, that's why the email scam was good for me.
See, another
hurt,
part.
but then I was like, okay, won't do that again.
Yeah, another part I think that maybe why my life is like not where I want it to be right now is because I didn't forward that email that was like, forward this to 10 friends or you're gonna die.
Yeah.
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 I have bad luck for 50 years. I think that's what's going on.
Like that's what's happening. Yeah. That was a huge trend for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm caught up in that too. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
All those
Maybe.
things. Bad luck for a year. If you don't like this random like 2012 meme.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's
Cursed.
That's what happened, man.
Yeah. I broke a mirror too, like 5 years ago. So
God. Yeah, I stepped on the sidewalk crack one time. Like
you idiot.
I know. I think it's curtains for me. Prairie smoke's done. Yeah. And my mom broke her back. So
all of it.
Everything's bad,
Yeah, what an idiot, man. You never step on the crack.
Can't do that. Yeah. Caught me lacking.
All right. Well, we've gotten to that point of our show, people, where we ask our guests, like, what is your definition of success?
Oh man. It's been a lot of different things. In the beginning, it was like being able to play a show in front of people, and then it evolved into I don't know. It's going to take me like hours to explain that, but I think what it's gotten to, as humbly as I can possibly say, is like being sustainable, being to the point where I get to do this and like give all of myself to music. And it's not, it sounds selfish, but I really think that if I got to the point where I could play in front of people and make them feel something and attached to the music and safer and warmer and not alone in their pain or whatever they're going through, that would be my success, is just getting to the point where I can play in front of enough people that feel it all in similar ways and sustain myself through it.
Do you get goosebumps when you listen to like certain songs?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've noticed a lot of musicians have that. Like, there's a lot of people that aren't musicians that don't get that.
Yeah.
But like musicians often get that.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh, I get chills all the time.
What's your song that you get chills with?
Right now it's a song called Blue Country Mystic by His Golden Messenger. And there's a lot, but that's one that I get chills from. I love that song right now. Yeah.
Mine is Time by NF.
Time?
Yeah.
I don't know if I know that one.
That's a good one.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's a relationship song, and
Yeah.
um, that's kind of like where I want to be with my music as well. Like I shared my music video with this person who was going through a bad time, and I was like, "Well, hey, have you heard my grievances yet?" And she was like, "No, like I haven't." So I shared her the music video, and she was like, "Wow, like that really resonates with me." And
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna save this and like, you know, listen to it later. And I was like, that song is a success then.
Yeah.
As long as it reaches one person and they feel that way, like,
Right. It doesn't matter like the amount of people I've never really cared about. I used to do a thing in my basement every Thursday night called Gerald Live. I lived on a street called Gerald. And yeah, I made the basement all like lit up with these like fancy with these like blue light bulbs, LEDs and stuff. And then like we put a bunch of couches down there and I'd like set up with a bunch of like studio monitors and my amps and stuff. And I'd play music every Thursday night and we'd have like mostly just friends, but sometimes some random people would show up and that was like super fun. That was like at the start of college. And, at one point, this guy gave me a letter that he had written while I didn't know him like very well, but he had written a letter and left it like in a couch cushion. And we found it. And it was like the sweetest letter I've ever seen. Like it was, and I still have it to this day. I have it like displayed in my house and I'll never get rid of it. I mean, it's that kind of stuff that keeps me going, I think. Just understanding that like I might be helping people through something or yeah, making them not feel alone. It's just so like revitalizing and yeah, every time something like that happens, it restores my faith in music, why I'm doing this.
yeah. Yeah, I thought I was done writing like all this sad boy stuff with like the grievances. Like
Yeah,
I thought that was gonna be the end of it.
it lingers.
But yeah, I've written recorded probably about another 7 songs that were like
Yeah, yeah,
super sad and like just angry. But I don't think I'll ever release them.
yeah, yeah. You've changed or you've like left that type of anger.
I think writing the songs was like,
That was it.
yep, like
Yeah.
writing it, producing it, like putting all this fucking work
Yeah.
into it, and
Then
then
all of a
just being
sudden you
like,
hate it.
yeah, and just like, okay, it's out of me.
Yeah.
Like they can find it in my vault like Prince when I'm dead.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I like hated having roommates and then also like trying to record music at home is like, that they're nice about it and they're like, yeah, like I love this song and stuff. But like, yeah, wait till you hear it 700 times and then you're
Yeah.
not going to like it and then you'll never listen to it. So I just moved out and by myself now. So that's kind of nice in some ways. I get to like not annoy a bunch of people by playing the same guitar riff over and over.
Yeah, I get that, dude. Like mixing and mastering a song is like, yeah,
Yeah.
if I can listen to it after it's mixed and mastered, that's how I know it's a good song.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can make it through without like just hating it. Yeah.
Just straight vomiting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my problem. I just don't have enough knowledge in music I love writing and I love like creating songs, but I don't know enough to like create or like compose in the way that I hear it in my head. It's always different than the way it comes out. And I wonder, I mean, is that something that's true for you? Like when you like think of a song and you have an idea for it, does it ever turn out the way you envisioned it?
You know what's crazy? Is like oftentimes I just say, this is the emotion I'm going to convey.
Yeah.
I don't have anything in there.
Okay.
I just start making music.
Yeah.
And I start playing music and I'm like,
And it comes together.
yeah. I'm like, oh, I like the way this sounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, sometimes I'll have an idea that's like, okay, I want it to go bum, 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 bum,
Yeah,
bum,
sure.
bum, bum, but more often than not, like I'll just sit down and play the piano
Yeah.
and just, dabble.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, and then I'll play something that sounds cool, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, how can I turn that into like a 4, 8, 12 bar,
Sure.
you know, substance, and then I'll take that and I'll just keep adding on to it,
Yeah.
and I have a song.
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah, it's not very often that I have like an idea in my head because like sound design for like EDM,
Oh yeah.
like you heard the noises I was making, like it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. But I am getting better to that point of like pre-planning,
Right.
like I want this sound to be in this song.
Yeah. Right.
So I guess the short answer is no.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, yeah. And like everybody's different too, you know?
Yeah.
You just, it's interesting hearing other people's perspectives and outlooks on like creating a song and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, um that's why I interview musicians and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like I love hearing their process to it
Yeah.
and like why they do what they do,
Right.
and like their definition of success.
Yeah.
Um so do you dream like when you sleep?
Yeah.
Do you remember your dreams often?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like very vivid usually.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And they were like a couple years back I was smoking a lot of weed.
Yeah.
And they're like, your dreams will quit when you smoke a lot of weed. And I was like, they don't. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do I make them stop?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of them that I just like, I would really not like to have
Hills.
that.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Because like I dream very vividly.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
one of the dreams that I had, um, probably in January, maybe it was like November when I had this dream, but one of the dreams I had is so vivid, I'm writing a screenplay for it.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was like, in my dream, it was like 7 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's how mine go
yeah.
too. I can like wake up sometimes and then like go back to sleep and restart, like pick up where I left off.
I don't do that usually.
It's super weird. I don't think I ever like really used to do it, but for the past like year, I've been able to do it.
Do you ever have like reoccurring dreams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, some of them I've had the same like recurring dream or whatever for like 12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super weird and like deeply vivid.
I used to have one dream that would have like once a year since I was like 5.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of how it is.
But I haven't had it in a while. Probably like 3 or 4 years. I haven't had that dream.
There's like nightmare medication that I've tried. That's like a prescription. And I'm not kidding. On the little thing, it says, take, whatever, take one pill nightly as needed for nightmares.
Really?
And I thought it was so funny. And I tried it and it like really did help, does help when I take it. But when I forget, I'm like back into like the most vivid dream you could have.
So you often have nightmare dreams.
Yeah. Yeah. Like more often than not, they're scary.
Okay, what was the last one you remember then?
This one's not the scariest one. It's very funny, but scary in some way. I had a dream that I was talking to my mom and I asked her how much she thought like my electricity bill might be. And she said, it'll probably be less than $2,000. And I remember so vividly in my dream, I went like significantly less and was like so like bent out of shape about like, I was like, cause I can't pay that, so I was like, I just remember just like significantly less. And then I woke up, but I was like, it's not scary, but for a second in there, very frightening. But like, I don't know. Often I don't have like monster dreams or anything. It's usually like something to do with like my friendships or like relationships or like people close to me like dying. And it's like super aggressive. And yeah, so it's like part of my insomnia, I think. And Yeah, but the medication definitely does help, I would say.
Dude, yeah, I have really bad insomnia as well.
Yeah.
Like even last night, I was like, I need to go to bed. I stayed awake till like 3.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I
Yeah,
was watching some weird Netflix documentary.
word.
Yeah. So
Well, if you can't sleep, dog, the studio's always open, and
yeah,
I'm always here.
I need to record some music. I really do. Yeah.
Have you
That'd
ever
be a good
gotten
time.
advice in your dreams
Um,
that you remember?
it's if I have, it's like shrouded in a layer of metaphor, you know.
Hmm.
So it's like I almost have to like look for it and like take away a meaning. But I often like dissect my dreams a little bit and find out like why it is I'm having the types of dreams I'm having.
I had a dream last night. I had a dream that I was on a beach and like the water was like waist high, right?
Yeah.
And that's where like a lot of shark attacks
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
It's like waist high water.
Right.
And so like I am with my ex and I see like this shark
Oh.
and like it's going like she's like slightly in front of me, but I'm like kind of behind her a little bit, like maybe 5 feet or so. And
Yeah.
I see the shark and I'm like, dude, you gotta watch out, like there's a shark.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I'm trying to run in this water, because
Yeah.
it's waist high.
But you never run right in your dreams.
Never.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
You do weird. Yeah.
So like I get under the water and I swim and like I end up punching this shark in its gills, like as it's like getting ready to attack
Yeah.
her and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like I start attacking the shark, and the shark's probably like maybe like a 60-pound shark.
Okay.
Like it's not small, but it's not like big either.
It's not like great white material.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. And so like it definitely would have taken a chunk out of her because like it's still decent.
Still a shark.
Yeah.
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 So like you need to get to the boat. Like
Yeah.
you get to the boat now. I'm gonna fight this shark because it's
Yeah.
gonna come back.
Yeah.
And so like she's going to the boat and the shark just doesn't give a shit about me whatsoever and is just like going after her.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right. So like I'm like staying around her and like she's like I can see the shark because the dorsal fin and shit, right? So like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
eventually it tries to like swim past me and I just like jump on its back and like grab its dorsal fin and then just like turn it upside down.
That's kind of cool.
Because
You're like doing the right things.
yeah. Yeah. And I'm petrified of sharks.
Yeah.
Like I'm like the ocean, not my thing.
Yeah. I don't like deep water.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
And sharks, not my thing. Megalodons are real. Okay. They're out there.
Oh yeah.
They're real.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, most of our oceans aren't even like partially discovered.
Yeah.
So
And NASA, when they were
Yeah.
like just, exploring the ocean,
Yeah.
they found some shit and they were like, nah, we're going to go to space.
yeah,
It's like, what?
it's scary. Yeah, it's a scary place.
Yeah.
I'm certain there's stuff there that we just might not ever find. Well, certainly won't in our lifetime. But that bothers me a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. And they say the ocean is rising. Squeeze me. Like it's
Don't
getting
love that.
bigger.
Yeah, don't love that.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'll probably stay in Wyoming. You know what I'm saying? Like,
We're pretty landlocked.
yeah. It's got to rain for 40 days and 40 nights for that stuff to come here.
Yeah,
And even
Good
then some.
yeah,
So like sharks, I'm petrified of sharks, but for some reason I needed to save my ex-girlfriend. And
yeah.
I just beat the shit out of the shark. Made it go to sleep.
Yeah. I can't remember. I fought something in the dream recently. I can't remember what it was, but it was. I think I fought a coyote.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty random. I like fist fought it,
Word.
and I wasn't like, I wasn't necessarily like upset with the little creature. It wanted to fight me for some reason. I'm like, I guess we're doing this. Put your dukes up, and But yeah, so sort of similar.
Yeah. Fighting animals.
Fighting animals.
Yeah. I had a dream where I was fighting an alien baby one time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty out there.
Yeah. And I won, obviously,
Right. Yeah.
because it was an alien for one, and for two, it was a
Sure.
baby. And you know how easy it is to like beat the shit out of a baby?
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
You thought taking candy from him was easy?
True.
Beating the shit out of him is a
Yeah,
lot easier.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I want you to tell the people where they can find you, man.
Yeah. Right on. So my well, you can listen anywhere you listen to music. It's just Prairie Smoke. It's all one word. And then my Instagram is Prairie Smoke Music. Once again, all one word. Yeah, feel free to reach out to me, and yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, all the places. Yeah.
And his links will be in the description below. And those that are just listening to the podcast, go to the YouTube channel, go to the description, find his stuff, or just go to Prairie Smoke, anywhere that you can find music. He's a really good musician. Like I said, I saw him on Saturday and I was super impressed with him. That's why he's on the show. But send him some love, and I hope that I can navigate through all of this stuff. I don't know how much longer I'll even have this studio, but we'll see what life brings, and just gotta keep trucking, just keeping your head up. And I hope that whoever's listening to this now makes it to the next episode. Statistically, you probably won't, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Much love, everybody.